He's getting older.
Huh?
Oh, hit the volume.
But not wiser.
Everybody has affinity for cock.
This is the Lefty Show.
Oh yeah, everybody, welcome to the Lefty Show, episode number 12. I'm your host, Lefty, taking you through the interwebs, through probably the greatest podcast in existence. That much better. The show is that much better today because got a brand new microphone, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new microphone here for you on the Lefty Show. The Electro Voice RE320. It's here, baby. Yeah. Sounding nice. And, you know, I've been honestly for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, I've just been messing around with settings on both my board and recording volume for Windows, for the software I use to record the show, OBS, and even the settings on the microphone itself. Now, this is odd for me because it's not really what it's not as much being creative. Oh, shit, I hate saying that. I hate saying being creative. By the way, thank you to everybody that's been watching, liking, and favoriting. In fact, everybody was like, "Hey, where's the Lefty?" Yesterday, I was waiting for the microphone to show up. I'll talk about that later. And there wasn't a show, and there were more than a few people tweeting me saying, "Hey, man, where's the Lefty Show? Where's it at? I want to hear it. I want to listen to it." It is Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2014 today. Yesterday was the 13th. Derp. And a lot of people wanted to know where the show was. Well, yeah, a lot of things happen. We'll get into that in a bit. But, you know, when you're creative, and I hate that term, but I made the decision to go audio only for the podcast because that's what I like. And that's what I think, that's what I would enjoy. And that's something that I can get behind. And I think, well, there are other people that would probably enjoy it. And similarly, with this new microphone, I'm going to sound probably a little bit different. I've been messing with the EQ settings, just for people that are really interested. The gain has been dropped off by about half of what I used for the Rode Procaster. And the EQ settings are not nearly as aggressive on my board as they were with the Rode Procaster. However, I am having a more similar sound that I hope will sound a little bit more natural. And in that vein, there's also a setting on the Electro Voice RE320. There's two different response curves. One is the flat setting that Electro Voice specifically designed for voices and vocal work. And the other one is what they call the kick setting, which is more for a tonal response, and it's more for instrument usage, specifically kick drums. Apparently that's like a thing in music, is getting your kick drum to sound right. And the Electro Voice, their settings, at least on the RE320, the kick setting has just a few different settings. It's more responsive on the low end and about the same on the high end. And then there's a dip around 340 hertz that I don't even know what the hell it does. I know it dips, and I don't know why but it does create a different kind of sound for anything that's put into the microphone, specifically voice. And that's the setting I'm using now. I've listened to both. And I've listened to recordings of my voice on both. And while I'm still going to play with settings, and it is an ongoing process, this is not like, hey, this is how it's going to sound, deal with it. But I've listened to both, and I think for right now, going with the kick setting, the tonal response setting, is probably the best. Here, I'll change it really quick. Right now, we're on the tonal setting, and we just switched to what's called flat. This is a more flat sound, which I guess is more malleable. I can do more with it in terms of messing with the board and whatnot, but it doesn't. It sounds flat. It does. You know, hey, Alvin, you're a little flat. Watch it next time. Okay. Christmas. And I listened to it on the recordings, and I just, testing, and I just, man, I don't know. So I switched back now to the tonal response, and even in my headphones, it sounds a lot better. It sounds, I don't even know how to describe it, but it sounds decent to me, and I hope it sounds decent to you as well. And it's a distinctive sound from what I was able to create with the Rode Procaster. Probably if I was a bit smarter, I could create a similar sound with the Procaster. However, I'm not that smart, but I have the Electro Voice RE320, which is about half the price, certainly half the price of the Electro Voice RE27, which is supposedly the biggest and baddest microphone that Electro Voice makes, and a little less than half, or a little bit more than half the price of the Electro Voice RE20, which is the broadcast industry standard. And the Electro Voice RE320 right now, certainly happy with it. I'll do maybe a review or a comparison video later on. But the Lefty show now has a different sound, a little bit different sound. Not completely different, but it's going to sound a little bit better. And I'm still being affected mildly by this bug or allergies or whatever. So my voice itself is probably going to change in the coming week, and with it the sound will change, and I will adjust accordingly. I'll continue to play with stuff. I'll play with volume settings, gain settings, EQ on the board, all that kind of stuff. I'll continue to mess with it and try to zero in on a sound that I think works just right. And the only way to, because I can do test recordings and have a set sentence that I say, hopefully with the same inflection and same tone and same boom in my voice every single time, and compare them. I can do that, and I can do it all day, but really the only true test is to do a show and then listen to it afterwards, and listen and gauge how people respond, how people react. It's not going to sound like shit. I hope it's not going to sound like shit. But one of the other bad things is that I no longer am able to use the shock mount I had for my Rode Procaster. And that's an issue, because now when I grab the microphone and move it, if I shift in my chair, you guys are hearing it. And that's a sound I don't really like, but I need to make another purchase and get the shock mount that's specifically made by Electro Voice for the Electro Voice RE series microphones, or RE2X series microphones. And I got to do that, but it's coming soon, and it's not here yet. But I just wanted to use the microphone, the brand new toy, and it sounds good, man. It sounds good in my headphones, and it again, distinctly different, I think, from the Rode Procaster. And hey, the good thing now is that I've got a backup microphone. I've got a backup broadcast quality microphone that I can use, obviously have in reserve, and then use Katie if Katie wants to be a part of stuff. And I had some ideas about once a week or once or twice a month get together with my dad and do stuff, because I think he's got a lot of interesting things to say that you guys would enjoy. And now it's going to sound fantastic together. So instead of my broadcast quality microphone and then just a $60 mic, I picked up from Guitar Center. So new sound for the Lefty show. I hope you all enjoy it, and if you don't enjoy it, please keep in mind that I will continue to play with the sound and change it and morph it and do all the things that I do as the show progresses. But this is the Lefty Show, episode number 12. Thank you to everybody that has been watching and liking on YouTube and subscribing and sharing the podcast with your friends and family and coworkers, maybe your boss even, who knows, right? And I thank you to all of you for doing that. That's how you can help the show grow. If you want to help sustain the show, or you want to perhaps help get the show on iTunes and keep us on iTunes, you can go to imraising.com/. 643 Productions. That's a little P on Productions. There is a link in the description. You can go ahead and click on that, and if you want to donate, help out the cause, you can do that there. imraising.com/643 Productions. And I'm just, I can't get over, man. I like this microphone. I'm liking it. It sounds good in my headphones, and that's the other thing. Sometimes what sounds good in my headphones doesn't sound good on a phone speaker, or doesn't sound good on earbuds, or doesn't sound good on different headphones. So that's something that's going to have to be taken into account. And I can do a lot of stuff. I can do a lot of things and change how I come at creating the sound for the show. And hopefully again, a lot of people enjoy and enjoy the dedication to making the show about as not professional as, but what's the right word here? Because to say professional, to me, when people say that's not why you called is professional sounding, or I bring a professional air to things that I do, it's hard for me to differentiate professional from straight-laced, because when I hear professional, I immediately go, and I can't help it, I go to straight-laced. When you think of a professional, you think of a guy or anybody, it doesn't have to be a guy, but you think of somebody doing a job and just strictly doing that job with no deviation from their intended goal and whatever it is. And I guess that could apply to being entertaining. He's a professional and entertaining. But when you say professional, I just immediately, and I can't help it, I go to straight-laced. I go to straight-laced, not funny, not entertaining. And so I strive to be professional sounding, but not professional in what I try to do, because I believe that other people have that bias too. They hear professional and they go, oh man, yeah, fuck that. That guy's just a loser, just a killjoy, a buzzkill. All he does is his job or whatever it is he wants to do, or she. And it's not fun. There's no dynamic. It's just what it is. It's just, playing baseball, playing football, being a doctor, being a lawyer, or any other kind of professional. Actual professional, I guess we should say. And that's another thing too, is that, everybody's a professional now. I'm not a professional anything. I guess maybe the best I could hope for is being a professional jackass. That's what I can do. I am a professional in that I get paid for being a jackass on the internet. But it seems as though in our society, everybody's turning into a professional. I'm a professional educator. I'm a hero. Well, fuck you. No, you're a teacher. I'm a professional journalist. No, you're a fucking reporter. Go do your job and report the facts. Don't try to build up whatever it is you do. You know who's a professional? People who can people who are licensed to do things and can have their licenses revoked for violation of ethics codes. Doctors, lawyers, accountants. Those people are the kinds of people who can say, I am a professional because I have a very specialized, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but I have a very specialized set of skills. If you need your 1099 correlated into your 1040, I can do that for you. And if you need to go back 3 years and claim assets that went unclaimed on previous tax returns, I can help you do that. Those are the kinds of people who can claim professionalism. When a doctor's negligence is way more costly than just some Joe Blow fixing your car, when that negligence results in, when a doctor is negligent and fucks you up, that's a lot bigger and a lot more expensive and a lot more injurious than, the guy putting the intake wrong on or the guy forgetting to put the intake back on your car, or not tightening the bolts all the way, or the lug nuts all the way on your tires, which has happened a few times when I took my car to get brakes done. I get the car back, and the lug nuts are finger loose. I can unscrew them with just the torque that my fingers can generate via friction. High school physics for the win. And I get it back, and I'm like, what the fuck? You wrench monkey? What are you doing? That's negligent, right? It could have really fucked up my car, but a doctor who's drunk going into surgery will kill you. Will kill you. Or a doctor who doesn't heed your file on allergies and prescribes you the wrong medication willy-nilly just because, fuck it, he's got some infection, blah, 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 bam. And then he didn't bother to read the file that said allergic to penicillin, and he gives you something in the penicillin family that's a lot closer to penicillin than like, let's say you're allergic to penicillin. Well, you're like me, you're allergic to penicillin, but you can take amoxicillin and be okay. And he prescribes you, or she prescribes you, something in the penicillin family that's a lot closer to penicillin, and you're fucked up and you're messed up. Those people are professionals. LeBron James is not a professional athlete. He's not a professional anything. He's an athlete. The best in the NBA, as of right now, probably the best ever. I don't know, a lot of people are going to say MJ, but come on, man. LeBron James is just, oh my goodness. But he's not a professional anything. Athletes are not professionals. You're not a professional reporter. You're not a professional educator. I don't care how long you went to school. You're not anything like that. Even scientists, not professionals. There's a difference between being an actual professional and just getting paid to do something that a lot of people wish they could do, a la sports or covering sports or covering the news or reporting the news. You're not professional. You do not owe some incredible duty like an attorney or a doctor or an accountant or anything like that. And you're not a professional. And I am not a professional. And, maybe it's just bad word usage. Maybe it's easy to say professional because everybody kind of has an idea about what professionalism is. But and despite the fact that actual professionals get lumped in unfairly, perhaps, or marginalized by that usage, maybe it's just that it's easier for people to do that. But it just seems lazy because I'm not really a professional. I'm nothing. I sound like I have a sound that's reminiscent of quote actual, not professional, but actual radio hosts. But I'm not, even those guys, even quote professional broadcasters, they're just assholes behind a microphone, just like me. Except they've got a 50,000 watt blowtorch and are bound by the FCC, whereas I've got, a 25 megabit per second upload, and I'm bound by the terms and service of YouTube. That's about it. And Twitter and Podbean and iTunes. So similar, but I'm not a professional. They're not a professional. There are fewer professionals than our society. If you just looked around, if an alien race came to the Earth, obviously, derp. And I wanted to say America, but I'm sure that it happens everywhere in Europe and all over the place too. They would look around, and just by how people refer to themselves and each other, they would think, my goodness, these humans have such a high opinion of themselves. Assuming they learn all the nuances of the language, they would say, everybody here is a professional at something. What? Where are the real professionals then? If you're a professional educator or you're a professional dumpster diver, what does that do to the word? What does that do to the language? and the meaning of the word and all the things, all the other things that are associated with professional and professionalism, not, you know, an adherence to a form or an approach, but actual overreaching duties and obligations and all those things. Professional means two things. People use it to communicate two different ideas, but it's the same word, and when you use it that way, both meanings get reduced. Both meanings get devalued by using it haphazardly. And so the aliens would show up and be like, what the you're not a professional broadcaster. You're some asshole on the internet. You're not professional like a professional, Lefty. You're just some asshole. You don't owe an obligation. You don't have a duty. You don't have guidelines and strict ethics that you must adhere to, and you can't be punished. There's not multipliers for your negligence when it becomes criminal. There's nothing like that. You're not a professional. You're just some asshole on the internet who sounds kind of okay. And similarly, you're not a professional whatever. You're just some guy or some girl who's doing this or that, getting paid for it probably, and possibly doing it well, but that doesn't make you a professional. It doesn't make you special. You're just doing your job. Now, speaking of aliens, let's get into a little news here. Speaking of aliens, the Pope has got some things to say. We're going to cover a lot today. A little bit of Beebs in the news, perhaps we'll get to it. A professional educator just straight up almost choke slamming a 6-year-old. And like I said, Beebs in the news. LeBron James, Donald Sterling. There's interesting stuff going on in the NBA concerning Donald Sterling and his wife. And it goes beyond the racism of Donald Sterling. And a few other things like the Pope. We got to talk about the Pope. Okay? Here's the deal. The Pope. Scoozy. Here, I got that here. Just hold on. No, I don't, because the soundbite is still playing, and I had to turn it down on my board. You see, consummate professional here, ladies and gentlemen. Scoozy. That's what I got for you. I got Scoozy. Hello there. And hello there. The Pope, Pope Francis, has stated he would baptize in a, this is from The Independent, in a homily yesterday dedicated to the concepts of acceptance and inclusion. It's an odd precept for the church. Francis recalled a Bible story about the conversion of the first pagans to Christianity, according to reports on Vatican Radio. And it goes on, and the meat and potatoes is Pope Francis said that if Martians, and he actually went on, he said, yeah, Martians, you know, and here's the kicker, at least for me, or something I found. This is funny. This is Pope Francis. A quote, if, for example, tomorrow an expedition of Martians came to us here and one said, I want to be baptized, what would happen? Clarifying that he really was talking about aliens, the Pope said, Martians, right? Green, with long noses and big ears, like in children's drawings. So in a homily dedicated to acceptance and inclusion, Pope Francis has relegated extraterrestrial species to looking like a stereotype. Oh, and the whole shame the homosexuals still, because the whole, if there was a gay who believes in God, who am I to judge? It really just was an eloquent way to say the same thing the church has been saying for decades. It was a very eloquent hate the sinner, or hate the sin, not the sinner, which is bullshit. It's a bullshit approach because it's a way to obfuscate that you're still shaming somebody and you're still oppressing people who aren't like you. So in a homily dedicated to the concepts of acceptance and inclusion, stereotypical aliens, and then still fuck the gays. Still, because oh my God, they're just weird. And hashtag faith, right? Gotta have faith. But the Pope honestly said he would baptize aliens. Just the avarice of that, to say, I'm the Pope. Scusi. I'm the Pope. Here come aliens. Aliens, okay? We're talking actual stereotypical aliens, but we're talking an intelligent species that shows up and lands on our planet. So they're not from our solar system, probably. Sorry, James Cameron. They're not from our planet, and they're not from. Well, obviously they're not from our planet. They're not from our solar system. Probably not from any local part of our galaxy. So they are at least intragalactic travelers. They have the intelligence and the technology to travel through the galaxy. And they show up. The ability, all the things that entails, right? They're probably not, and I disagree with Stephen Hawking here, they're probably not warlike. They're probably obviously highly intelligent and able to harness energy in ways that and create energy and use it safely for propulsion and other things that we couldn't even imagine, that we can barely comprehend in terms of being able to travel the vast distances of even this galaxy, not even intergalactic. Intragalactic, they're just moseying on around the galaxy, which takes an incredible amount of energy. And they show up here, I mean, to do it in a realistic time frame, I mean, in terms of incredible amount of energy, because the Voyager probes will just keep going. They won't, I mean, they'll maybe get sucked in by some planet's orbit, but other than that, they'll just keep going. They don't have any fuel left or propulsion, and they're not creating a lot of energy, and they'll just keep going. But in terms of to be able to do it in a realistic time frame, you got to have a ton of energy. And so here come these beings plopping down on this rock for some reason, probably because they've intercepted transmissions and they realize that we are a semi-intelligent species, and they want to talk to us. And here's the Pope. They show up, and the Pope says, "I will baptize you if you want it." The avarice to say, "Hey, incredibly intelligent, at least intergalactic traveling beings, you want to get spritzed with some voodoo water, huh? Because our invisible man in the sky. Here we go. We're gonna break it all down for you. Our invisible man in the sky says all this bullshit." And one of the hallmarks of all this bullshit institution that we've created is that we spritz each other with this water, and it's special because fucking the invisible man touched it or something. We just fucking do it. And the Pope says, yeah, that's what the aliens want. Now, of course, if they ask, but even if they ask, show some fucking humility. Say, no, I'm not going to spritz you with the voodoo water because the voodoo water is bullshit. You as an alien show up because aliens aren't fucking mentioned in the Bible, okay? So another intelligent species showing up just from our galaxy alone would probably just put the kibosh on a whole bunch of bullshit in the Bible. Just the very fact that they show up just nixes pretty much all but the most lenient interpretations of all but the most, oh my God, let's move the goalposts again interpretations of the Bible and Scripture. And here they show up, and then the Pope is still going to stick to his guns and say, "Oh, I'll spritz you with holy water." Show some humility, man. Be like, hey, this is what we do. This is our religion, and give them the history of religion, not in canon. Okay, I don't mean in canon. Give them the history of religion and humanity, not Christian religion, but just religion in general, and be like, look, here's why, here's part and parcel why religion exists still, and why so many people are into it. Now, you clearly, intelligent species have probably evolved intellectually to the point where you don't need this anymore, but we do. So I am not going to do you the disingenuous disservice of spritzing you with the bullshit voodoo water. I am just going to say, let us do our thing, and you go on about your business and teach us about all this cool technology you have. Show some humility to the super intelligent aliens that show up. And of course, this is assuming that they're benevolent, because if they're showing up to kick our ass, they're going to kick our ass anyway. And I just fundamentally disagree that aliens are likely to be hostile. I believe they are more likely to be benevolent, super evolved, utopic, if that's even a word. I hope that guy didn't actually trademark it in Entourage. But they're probably closer to being a utopic species. And in that way, they've probably evolved past religion. Essentially, I guess what I'm arguing is Star Trek shows up at our door. If they took the form of Captain Picard, I believe that was an episode of South Park. There was an episode where there was a race of aliens who were trying to make contact with humanity, and they had the ability to shapeshift.
I'm flowing straight from the survival scroll.
Sorry, that was a little cough there had to happen. Still mucusy. And they were trying to they could shapeshift, and they would take the form of something that would be recognizable, identifiable to humans, instead of just showing up and messing with people. And they went through a bunch of stuff, and that was a whole funny bit. But I'm assuming, like, let's say that shape-shifting aliens show up, and they take the form of the Next Generation cast of Star Trek. So Captain Picard, the lead alien, shows up as Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise, and the Pope is going to say, "Scusi," and also try to spritz him with the bullshit voodoo water. No, don't do that, Pope. You know what? If it gets to the point where the Pope has an audience with the super intelligent alien, I'm done. I want him to kill us. I would want them to extinguish us if we are stupid enough to say, hey, super intelligent alien species that showed up and clearly have technology beyond our wildest comprehension and have mastered all these physical laws that are currently hampering our discovery and our understanding of the universe. Here's this guy that believes in invisible man in the sky who watches everything you do of every minute of every day. And this man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. Here's this guy. Talk to him. Have an audience with him. No, fuck that. If we are still, as a society, when aliens get here, if we are still giving these people the time of fucking day with aliens, no. Just kill us. Just firebomb it. Just mine whatever precious metals you need. We got tons of gold. It's great for it's a great conductor. We got a whole we're mining platinum and we've got all this stuff, all these raw materials that you aliens may be able to use. Firebomb us. Please, aliens, if you're hearing this on your way to Earth, I've probably been long dead unless my consciousness has been uploaded to a computer. If any of our surviving race, I'm talking directly right now to you aliens, I'm assuming that as you approach, you've been able to intercept other transmissions and maybe perhaps taught yourself our language, or one of our many languages. If you show up and we trot out not our greatest scientists and philosophers and all those people to try to discuss all these things with you and learn from you, and if instead we trot out some guy in some silly robes who believes in the bullshit voodoo water and the invisible man in the sky, just firebomb us. Just do us all. Do the universe, or maybe just the solar system, the galaxy, maybe the local group. Do that all a favor and just firebomb us. Just get rid of it. Just lay waste to us. No, you don't deserve anything. You don't deserve our knowledge. You don't deserve any of that. In fact, you deserve nothing but cold hard death. Give that to us. If that's what we do upon meeting your super intelligent race, is we trot out Scoozy up to Popa. No, just don't do that. Speaking of people who need to be firearmed, or not armed with firearms, but firebombed, Justin Bieber is now apparently under investigation. Somehow not arrested again, accused and under investigation for attempted robbery. No shit. Justin Bieber, as a result of an altercation between his entourage and another group of men at a putt-putt place of some kind, one of those little midway type places where there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's batting cages, maybe go-karts, and some putt-putt, because you got to have yourself some putt-putt golf, right? Putt-putt golf, it's dumb. I don't know how putt-putt golf places stay in business. Like, they own some prime-ass real estate, and the only thing they do with that real estate, especially in regions of the United States where there's like a winter, they do nothing with that land but putt-putt golf. And there's not a whole lot of people who, when it hits 30, 20 degrees, shit, even 40, want to say, hey, let's go play some putt-putt. It's first dates and old people. That's your demographic for putt-putt golf. It's teenagers going on their first date and older families who, want to bond with their young children. That's pretty much it. The occasional group of drunken college idiots who just want to dick around for a couple hours. But other than that, usually just first dates and old people. So you've got first dates and old people, and only in the spring and summer months. How the hell do you pay the bills on that place? How do you pay the property taxes alone would probably kill you. Because there's 4 or 5, 6 months out of the year where you're not bringing in business, but you still got to pay the juice on that land. What in the hell are you? How is that? They've got to be doing something. They're probably shoveling coke out the back door, or running girls. Something else has to be going on at these putt-putt places, especially in the Midwest, where they can remain closed throughout the winter months, but still own the land and still conduct business during the summer. Because it's only a few nights a year that the place is rocking and rolling. Even then, during the day, you want to go putt-putt on your lunch break? No, fuck that. Something else is going on at these places. There's something else, some other revenue stream that we're not keen to, and I want to know what it is. So anyway, Justin Bieber was apparently involved in an altercation with another group of imbeciles. This imbecile and his imbeciles versus another group of imbeciles, got in a fight in Los Angeles, and the LAPD responded. It was about 10:30 p.m. Apparently what happened, allegedly, go ahead and sue me, Beebs. Sue some douchebag on the internet for pointing out and not saying allegedly to all this bullshit that you pull, because you're just a little shitbag who deserves to be choked with a leather strap on. Anyway, there was a girl, and her mom witnessed the altercation, and apparently, allegedly, Bieber saw this younger girl reaching into her purse for her phone. The obvious idea being, oh, they're going to film this or take pictures and I'm going to be in some shit again. So in order to avoid being in some shit again, Bieber decides not to drop the altercation and go away, but to confront the girl and try to grab her cell phone from her. And in fact does grab her cell phone, reaches into her purse and grabs her cell phone, not able to unlock it. He hands it back to her. Like, that's gotta suck. You pull off he's being investigated for attempted robbery. You try to rob somebody, and you rob them. You have the item in your hand, and then you can't get it to do what you want it to do. So you've got to give it back to him. And he wasn't able to unlock it. The girl gotta be a Bieber fan, unlocked the phone and showed Biebs that there indeed were not any pictures of the altercation on the phone. But now, apparently, the LAPD is investigating whether Bieber should be arrested on attempted robbery charges. And it just... I can't be the only smart person. I just can't. I'm sure there are many of you listening now that are smart. But where are the smart people who handle this little bag of shit? Where are the smart people who handle his money, who give him access to his money because he's probably not smart enough to do it? Where are the people who say, listen, Justin, stop fucking around. Don't get into fights with idiots at a putt-putt place. And if you do, don't escalate the situation by trying to put out the flames by grabbing some broad's cell phone because you think she may have taken a picture. Don't do it. Where are the people who tell stars and starlets and all these people, don't do stupid shit? If you get drunk, you need a sober buddy who understands public relations. You have to have him on you at all times. Don't get drunk at your house and start throwing shit through your neighbor's windows. Don't fuck around. But apparently this person does not exist in Justin Bieber's life. Apparently nobody thinks it's a good idea. All the people that are making money off this asshole haven't had the thought, maybe we should have somebody with him at all times who isn't a complete jackass, who could probably tell Justin, listen, you dumbass, all this expensive stuff will eventually go away if you continue to dick around. But apparently either that person doesn't exist or they suck at their job and there needs to be a new one. Either way, it's not working, and there's a 50-50 chance that the powers that be for Justin Bieber, his handlers, are just imbeciles, just idiots who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Tell Justin Bieber, if you're making millions of dollars off some teenager, you don't let them do whatever they want. You control them, and you say, listen, I'm making millions of dollars. You're making millions of dollars, multi-millions. I'm making millions of dollars off of you. Stop just dicking around. Stop fucking everything up. Stop making waves for you, because waves for you mean tidal waves for me, because I've only got millions. You've got multi-millions. Stop screwing around. Apparently his handlers haven't been able to communicate effectively that message. And another effective message was communicated via the vice president of the NBA Players Association, Roger Mason Jr., who said while being interviewed that he talked to LeBron James, greatest player in the NBA right now, talked to LeBron James, and LeBron said that he would not play next year if Donald Sterling was still an owner of the LA Clippers. He would not play. He would sit out next year if Donald Sterling is still an owner of the Clippers. Now, there's a whole other thing going on which could really draw out this issue and make it really interesting and funny, and we'll get to that in a bit. But here's LeBron James, the star, the face of the modern NBA, drawing a deep line in the sand and saying, hey, if this guy's still around next year, I'm not going to play. And while I commend LeBron James, I like LeBron James as obviously as a player, and just from what I can see of him as a person. And I like both of those facets of the man that is LeBron James. Part of me wants to say, you know what, LeBron? Shut up. Just shut up and go play. Because regardless of Donald Sterling isn't paying you the millions of dollars, everybody else is. And if I'm the owner of the Miami Heat, I have something to say to LeBron James and say, listen, no, we have a contract and you're not injured. You're not in any way prevented from playing. You are going to play. And that is what you are going to do because of this contract. Donald Sterling being a racist jackass does not nullify this thing that we have and the millions upon millions of dollars that I have been, currently am, and will continue to pay you. That's just not going to happen. And also, you know, there's something to be said for if LeBron James really wanted to make a statement, he would sit out now. He would sit out until Donald Sterling is removed as an owner. Not starting next year, which, is after the playoffs of the year 2014, after the end of the 2013-2014 season, after you have a chance at another NBA title. So you're willing, LeBron James, to make a statement about Donald Sterling, but you're not that willing to make a statement about Donald Sterling because you still want to get paid, get NBA playoff checks, and you still want to get another title. And while I want to make a statement, it's wrong. It's not that wrong. Your moral compass will only point towards sitting out when it is least likely to not impact your overall career, because sitting out at the beginning of a season, even a month, even 2 months, the Miami Heat are going to be in the playoffs, and you're still going to be able to run roughshod over teams all the way to the NBA Finals. But now that you're in the playoffs, Donald Sterling is still an owner. $2.5 million fine, banned from the NBA for life, still owns the LA Clippers. You're not sitting out now. And fuck that. And fuck you. And fuck that. Fuck LeBron James for being so disingenuous. He's like, I'm going to make a statement. Well, what about now? That's not good for me. You know, I hate Donald Sterling. He's a racist. And he still owns the team now. Yeah, I get that. And my sitting out would be making a statement not just about Donald Sterling, but about the whole of the NBA. If they are unable to move their ass and remove him as an owner next year, that's what my sitting out would be indicative of. But now, you know, I can win another trophy. And I, LeBron James, want everybody to remember me at least on par with MJ. And I need multiple NBA championships to do it. And so right now just isn't a good time for me to sit out to make a statement. And so, you know, this whole issue isn't really that important to me. But it's still important. Fuck you. No. Now you're playing political games. Now you're not making a statement for the statement's sake. You're making a statement for LeBron James' sake. So that you can say, because if it was about the issue, if it was really about the issue of Donald Sterling still, after all of this, being able to own an NBA team, you'd sit out now. You'd start right now and you say, I'm not playing another minute in the NBA, playoffs or not, until Donald Sterling is removed as an owner. But he's not, and you're not. So fuck you, LeBron. Get out there and play. You got a contract. You're going to cash checks. You're going to get out there, and you're going to play. That's what's going to happen. And, you know, there's an interesting thing. Donald Sterling's estranged wife. Donald Sterling's estranged wife is claiming that she is a silent partner in Donald Sterling's ownership of the LA Clippers. She says and communicates that, or through her lawyer, says that she is a silent owner via the Sterling Family Trust of the LA Clippers. She owns a piece of the team, and she will fight the NBA if they try to remove her as an owner, because they can't sell the team without her permission. So they would need to remove Sterling's wife, estranged wife, as an owner, and Donald Sterling, but Donald Sterling's easy. But the estranged wife didn't violate any kind of bullshit voodoo clause in the NBA collective bargaining agreement. She didn't. But she would still need to be removed as an owner, and she would fight that. And the interesting part is this, because it's been well known for, let's say, it's been known for years, I'd say, that that Donald Sterling is a racist and has committed racism. That's been known by the NBA. The NBA has collectively known that Donald Sterling is just a bigoted piece of shit. They've known. The V. Stiviano tapes were too much. They were too loud. And they had to react to these tapes, despite all of Donald Sterling's other bullshit that surrounded him. And there's plenty of it. The NBA knows that. And the NBA also knows that a whole bunch of other owners are unseemly assholes. Many of them, or at least a few of them, also bigots. And not biggins, bigots. And so Sterling's wife's attorney said in an interview that they are prepared to go to court with the NBA and sue the NBA. And as part of the discovery phase of the lawsuit, they would get to interview and document all the other bullshit that every other NBA owner is up to. Now, this wouldn't be an investigative journalism piece. This wouldn't be something published that the NBA can just pretend not to exist and hope people don't see. This would be a court proceeding and a matter of public record. The discovery phase, all the documents generated, going through and documenting all the bullshit that NBA owners have pulled and all the dastardly, evil, bigoted, prejudiced, whatever things that they have said will be out there for everybody. And the NBA really, 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 like really does not want that. And it could get really interesting because hopefully Donald Sterling fights this. I am officially, with seeing all the rejoicing at the effective thought policing. With seeing all that, I am totally on the bandwagon. I want Donald Sterling to sue the shit out of the NBA for trying to compel him to sell assets because he has internal thoughts that most people don't like and are backwards and stupid. I want him to sue the shit out of the NBA for that, and I want his wife to sue the shit out of the NBA for that, or for trying to remove her and be able to document all the bullshit. It's going to be absolutely fantastic to sit back and watch as the NBA just has to eat shit from a bigoted racist. They are going to have to eat shit from a bigot who's going to be able to say in court, yes, I am a racist. Or who will probably say, yes, I am a racist. But let's talk about, and more specifically and more damning, let's document all the other bigoted, evil, dastardly things all of your other owners do. All of your other executives do, but I'm the one who's compelled to sell assets. No, that's not going to happen. So it's going to be really interesting in hopefully the coming months, years. Oh, I would love for Donald Sterling to drag it out for the rest of his life. The guy's what, 83, I want to say? 82 maybe? I wonder if my microphone just picked up my elbow cracking right there. The guy's 82, 83. He's got, I don't know. He already sounds kind of weak. You know, he's got that really old, frail, old man smell going on. I would say, you know, probably 3 years, 4 years left maybe. Could probably make it to 87. I don't know if he's going to make it to 90. He doesn't look like he's in that great a shape. And I would love for him to be able to drag it out this long. And I would love for his estate, for the Donald Sterling estate, to be able to continue on in the litigation against the NBA. In a state of a bigot fighting for a bigot against the NBA. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Should be a lot of fun to watch. We'll wrap it up. The news here. It says this is a story from KOAT, the ABC affiliate out of Albuquerque. There was an investigative report that showed that the Albuquerque's lapel camera policy was the most violated police policy in 2013. More than 60 times the Albuquerque PD violated their policy. on officers wearing lapel cams. Whether the lapel cams just simply were not worn, whether they were turned off or mysteriously broken or something like that, more than 60 times last year, Albuquerque Police Department violated the protocols with respect to lapel cameras. Now, everybody thinks that mandatory body cameras on police officers is the way to keep things in order, is the way to prevent things like Officer Jeremy Deere shooting and killing a 19-year-old female and not having any evidence of anything of the altercation except his word, except beating the shit out of an unarmed suspect or somebody in handcuffs or anything like that. Everybody seems to think, oh man, lapel cameras, body cam, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. This is going to solve everything. It's going to stop this. The police will finally have to answer to somebody. Here it is. Jeremy Deere, Officer Jeremy Deere, on multiple occasions has violated lapel camera policy of the APD. Records show he was never, ever punished for it. And also records show that the Albuquerque Police Department never, ever in 2013, despite more than 60 violations, 60 documented violations, that is. That's an important tidbit. More than 60 documented violations, never punished an officer for it. So is it really going to solve things? If everybody has a camera, if the cops have cameras, they're just going to turn them off. They're just going to break them. They're just going to, it mysteriously got deleted because they're human animals just like us. And to avoid negative repercussions for their actions, for when they go over the edge because they've got the badge, the gun, and the arrest power, when they go over the edge, they're going to do what they can to stay in that position of power. They are going to conveniently forget things or conveniently break things or conveniently corrupt data. It's just going to happen. And the people responsible for punishing them are also police officers, also have to answer to these people or at least work with them, and they're not going to be punishing, there will not be heads rolling because all of a sudden, hey, Jerry, there's a guy alleging that you put him in handcuffs for nothing and then you beat the shit out of him and fingered his wife. And what is this all about? Where's your body camera footage? Or the body camera footage of the 4 other officers that responded to that call? Well, it was an accident. There was there was a solar event, and it just so happened all the shit got corrupted. And I forgot to turn mine on. My partner forgot his at home, and we're really sorry. It will never happen again. And the response will be, oh, okay, no evidence to do anything. Body cameras or cameras are documenting more evidence will not create accountability because there is evidence now, and that still doesn't work. And even then, even with these ideas to create more evidence of police wrongdoing or police conduct, not necessarily misconduct, but even these attempts are just shit, and they don't work. And the Albuquerque PD just take them off. Okay, yeah, I violated it. What are you gonna do? You gonna suspend me? Nobody was suspended. Nobody was anything for violating the whole idea, a program, the whole idea of which is to limit them fucking people up and not being accountable for it. And they just, we're not going to do it. We're going to violate the policy more than 60 times. Documented, which means how many times, I don't know, probably multiply it by 2, maybe 3. And that's how many times actually that cameras could have prevented some or presented some other side, but they didn't because they were conveniently lost, not turned on, corrupted, etc. The answer isn't more evidence. The answer is let people go after officers personally. And yes, oh my God, you can't have officers looking over their shoulder. Yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea of these cameras. The whole idea of the cameras is, that's right. The whole idea of the cameras is, hey, I'm going to have Big Brother watching me. This camera footage is over my shoulder, figuratively speaking, over the police officer's shoulder all the time. It is there to present an unbiased view, theoretically unbiased view of what's going on. I can't go around saying I did this contrary to the video. It's there. I am looking over my shoulder at the video constantly to make sure what I say and what I report and what I do will match up and not get me in trouble with people that review the video. You're making officers look over their shoulder by implementing the video, but it's not working. You know what will work is when the cop is going to understands that he will lose his fucking pension when he sweeps the leg out of a 13-year-old boy in handcuffs after responding to some bullshit call. And the cop will lose his pension, maybe have to sell his house or lose his car because a non-violent, non-threatening homeless man in the foothills of New Mexico is causing a ruckus, quote, causing a ruckus, and he shoots his ass. That will probably generate some results. And yeah, cops are gonna have to make decisions. Do I do this or do I not? Yes, they do that all the time. The whole point that we are even talking about police conduct is because we have decided that too many police officers are making the wrong decisions and need to make better decisions. Think more clearly. Spend more time thinking about these decisions. What does it matter what causes that? What does it matter the mechanism, the vehicle by which that is achieved? Body cameras clearly aren't going to work. Attacking their wallets? Probably will. Oh yeah, it's a Lefty show, baby. That's going to do it for us today, wrapping it up. Thank you to everybody that's joined the show, everybody for liking on YouTube. I appreciate it. Subscribe, youtube.com/LeftyOX is where you find us. Thank you to everybody that is sharing the show with your friends, family, and coworkers. I appreciate it very much, really. I do. That's how the show grows. You want to help the show, help sustain the show, get it on iTunes, new tech, all that kind of stuff. Head on over to imraising.com/643production. That's a little P on productions. And there's also a link in the description. You can donate there, help out the cause. Every little bit helps. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Looking forward to perhaps finding a home on iTunes soon. Thank you to everybody again for sharing the show, everybody for listening, liking, favoriting, donating, all the things you do. I greatly appreciate it. Have a great day, Lefty Show listeners. Keep it locked in right here, youtube.com/LeftyOX. More coming your way. That's my time, though. I gotta get out of here. Gotta head out of the studio. Pushing me out, the bastards. Anyway, keep it locked in right here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. Bye.